This is the footage of a real driving test at Greenslopes Test Center. I'm Omid, a driving instructor at IMI Driving School. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your virtual test. Okay, so here the examiner has already checked the car, right indicator, left indicator, the brake lights, and also the horn of the car. And now he is asking the student about 2 car controls. As you know, we have 9 car controls, and the examiners, they randomly pick 2 of them, and they ask you about 2 of them. If you don't know what they are, you can watch this video up here. And now the examiner instructs the student to get out of the car park from the right hand side. In the car park, you still need to keep it to the left side of the road. All the road rules still apply in the car park. You can watch this video up here, which goes into a lot more details about car park at Greenslopes Test Center. A little bit of traffic jam going on here. Okay, here the student stops to give way to the white car on the left hand side, but now they start driving. Probably the driver of the other car told them, okay, you can go. In these kind of situations, make sure you still stop and give way. And sometimes the examiners, they just tell you, okay, let's go. He's telling us to go. The driver of the white car is just being too nice, but you need to show the examiner that you know the rules. When you get out of the car park, make sure you go very slowly and you check the road and give way to all the cars on that road. The student stops here to give way to these cars that are trying to get to the car park or just traveling on a straight road. Beautiful. Okay, at this road you can see the arrows towards the left. So this is something that you need to keep an eye on in the driving test. In situations like this where there is only one option, we don't ask the examiner, where do you want me to go? We can only turn left, so we just put the left indicator on. If you ask questions, it means you don't know about road markings and traffic signs. So when you turn left to Logan Road, you never want to go to the left lane because it finishes after 20-30 meters. You better go straight to the middle lane, and this student does just that. Great. Here probably the examiner asked the student to change lane to the right, or he just asked him to turn right, and the student changes lane to the right and takes the right lane from the very beginning of the broken part. Make sure when you want to get into the right lane, you don't cross that solid line. You always go to the lane from the broken part, from the broken line. Here the student stops behind the other car with a safe distance from it. If you stop behind other cars at the traffic lights, you need to be able to see the tires of the front car, or imagine if the front car breaks down, you should be able to go around them without reversing. If you need reversing, it means you are too close. What you see in the video, it's a little bit too much, but it's just because of the camera. Otherwise, in reality, it's not that far. Okay, after a bit of wait here, now the arrow is green and everyone is turning right. This student is nicely following this curvy dotted line in the middle of the intersection, which is great. And here, as soon as we turn, we see the speed limit sign and we know that the speed limit is 60 on this road. There is an advisory sign here for a sharp bend to the left, and they recommend us to go 30. So the student slows down here. Great. Now after the bend, the student starts to pick up his speed and get closer to 60 again. Beautiful. Then passing these cars, making sure that we don't drive too close to them, we have safe distance from them. Okay, here the examiner instructs the student to turn right, and the student is turning right. There's no cars coming from the road ahead, so we are free to turn right. Okay, here turning left, mirror indicator, shoulder check to turn left, and now the examiner asks the student to pull over beside the road. They are getting ready to do a reversing exercise. So we have 6 maneuvers, and the examiners, they randomly ask you to do 2 maneuvers. The student is doing the reversing exercise, nice and slow, going back straight line. Great. And now they want him to stop and move back to the road again. Cool. Making sure you do mirror indicator, shoulder check to your right, and then you get to the road. The examiner asks the student to do a second maneuver here, which is U-turn at this intersection. Probably could have gotten closer to the corner. With the U-turn at intersections, we need to get close to corners. So the examiner didn't mark him down for this U-turn, but he could do a little better than that. The examiner asks him to turn left. There's a give way sign here. At the end of a T intersection, we have to give way. So he is nicely giving way, slowing down, stopping, giving way to those cars, and getting to the road. Again, maintaining the safe distance from the parked car here. Cool. And now the examiner asks him to turn left at the end of this road. So we obviously go to the left lane here, and obviously we have to give way. It's a T intersection and our road is coming to an end. Situations like this, anytime there's a T intersection and your road comes to an end, you need to give way to all the cars on the main road. So he's giving way to the bus, and after the bus getting back to the road. There's a school zone here, but this test was at 10:25 a.m. on a weekday. The school hours at this specific school are 7 to 9 a.m. and 2 to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. And this test was at 10:25, so it wasn't within the school hours, so we didn't have to slow down. Traffic light turns green and the student starts driving again. Here there are two lanes, and two lanes merge into one lane, and we're on the right side. So we need to check our left mirror and do a shoulder check to the left to make sure that we don't run into any other cars on the left side. Here the examiner asks the student to turn left at the traffic lights. So there's a slip lane here. We definitely need to go through the slip lane to turn left. Slowing down, checking to the right, no car is coming, keep driving. So again, we see the speed limit is 60. On a road like this in a 60 zone, we don't want to drive right at 60 because we might go 61 down a hill, and that's enough to fail the test. We don't want to be overcautious and drive 40, 45 or 50 because that's driving too slow and we hold up traffic behind us. What's the best speed then? The best speed is something between 55, 58, maximum 59. We don't want to be over 59 in a 60 zone. The speed depends on the structure of the road and also the flow of the traffic. If the road has sharp bends, we definitely slow down. If the road becomes narrow and there's a lot of cars parked around us, we slow down. And also it depends on the weather conditions as well. So if it is rainy, we can always go 5 km below the speed limit. It all depends on the traffic condition and the weather condition and the situation of the road. You want to keep the flow of the traffic on the road. Again, maintaining the safe distance with the front car, great. Okay, traffic light turned green and they start moving. This is Marshal Road in Holland Park West, and they're just traveling under the bridge, and going towards Holland Park. This Marshal Road is very hilly and the speed limit is 60, so making sure when we go down the hill we don't go over 60, and when we go up the hill we don't drop our speed. We need to maintain our speed all the way through this road. The examiner probably asked the student to change lane to the right. Okay, speeding up the footage a little bit here. At red lights, obviously make sure you are very patient. At this part of the road there is a 40 sign because there is no lines in the middle of the road. This is a temporary sign, and now we have a form 1 lane sign here as well. So making sure we check our left mirror and do a shoulder shift to our left. This part of the road, because there is no lines, we need to reduce our speed to 40. That's why the student is driving 40. And here the lines appear again in the middle of the road, so we can pick up the speed and go a little bit faster, but the student still is driving a little bit slow to make sure if there is a sign and then follow that sign, which is great. And here we see the 60 sign, and the student notices that as well and goes a little bit faster. Beautiful. The examiner instructs the student to turn left at the traffic lights, so the student stays on the left lane here. The road is going downhill. We need to cover the brake, make sure that our speed doesn't go over 60. And if we need accelerator, we need to push the accelerator gently. Pedestrian crossing, there is no pedestrians crossing the road, so just keep driving. Another sharp bend toward the right. They recommend us to go 40, so we slow down a little bit here. There's a crest here. Crest is where you cannot see the other side of the road, so they advise us to slow down a little bit here. Anytime you don't see the other side of the road and you don't know what's coming up, just common sense to slow down a little bit. Here again, the road is bending toward the left, slowing down, traffic light is red, the student goes for the brake and gently pushes the brake, and now the traffic light is green. So the examiner asks the student to turn left at the traffic lights. He nicely changes lane to the left right after the parked car. There was a parked car here and he changed lane after the parked car. Traffic light is green. He's turning left. And now again form one lane and 60 sign. The road is going downhill here, and we need to make sure that the speed doesn't go up. And now the road is up the hill. We need to push the accelerator, make sure we don't drive too slow. At the traffic lights, if the examiners they don't give you any instructions, it means just go straight to the traffic lights. And probably the examiner didn't give any instruction here to this student, and this student is just going straight. Remember, not every straight road is straight. It's not literally a straight. Some straights are a little bit bending toward the left to right, like these traffic lights here. The speed limit on this road is 60. The road is going downhill. We need to make sure we watch our speed. There's a car coming from the left side. We need to make sure that he's not jumping in front of us. Going towards the brake, keeping the foot on top of the brake, being ready to stop if they are coming. This car doesn't have a good position, a little bit over the line, so making sure we watch him as we drive past him. Again, the examiner asks the student to change lane to the left, or maybe he just said to turn left at the traffic lights, we don't know. And he changed lane to the left. There's a keep clear sign here. Keep clear means keep this space clear at all times. So you can drive on it, but you cannot stop on it. So if there is no room on the other side of the keep clear, make sure that we stop behind the keep clear sign, like exactly what this student did. And here there is a slip lane again, slowing down, checking to the right, and when the road is clear, getting to the road. There's no need to stop and check, it's just a give way, so means slow down, check, and move to the road when it is clear. That's Logan Road and the speed limit is 60. Around these bends, again slowing down. The student is doing well. And now the examiner asks the student to change lane to the left, and he does that from the broken part. Great. Around these sharp bends, slowing down. And here turning left and back to the test center. This is on a slip lane again, and just making sure that the slip lane is slowing down, checking, and now there are cars coming from the right side, so stopping and giving way to them. Once the road is clear, we get back to the road. So this test is almost coming to an end, and the examiner didn't take this student to highway. Do they take us to highway in our driving test? Well, yes, it's all very random. This examiner didn't take him, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to go to highway for your test. So just be prepared for driving in highway as well, and learn how to do that correctly, how to get into the highway and get out of the highway, and how to drive on the highway. Okay, stopping for that car who is coming out of the car park. Giving him some space. Cool. And usually the examiners, they ask you to just go straight to one of those car parks that you see ahead of you, which is empty. Are the examiners going to tell me straight away if I failed the test? No, they're going to take you back to the test center, and always at the test center after the test, they're going to let you know how you went in your test, if you passed the test or if you failed the test. And if you pass the test and there are some areas that you can improve on, they tell you about those as well. And parking the car there, and the test is over. This student passed the test with 0 driving errors. I'm very proud of him, and that was a great test. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to this channel, press the bell icon and select all to receive notifications for new videos. Driving in Australia is easy if you know the rules.